This is what I would call eviction revenge. I personally, as a property manager, have never experienced this, but I've heard about this in the industry. Basically, when a tenant is on the verge of being evicted, they will do something destructive to the home. This particular private landlord has experience where the tenant has turned on all the water in the home, turned off the heat, and that means all the water in the home will freeze over. So that means when it starts thawing, the pipes
Mm.
are going to burst and the water is going to flow everywhere. As a tenant, it is your responsibility to pay for the rent. Don't get me wrong, things get hard, you fall behind. Yes, rents have gone up, but you are always financially responsible for your rent. You sign all the dotted lines, so you have to pay for it. But this is one of those things that I think sometimes people forget. Just because you are evicted from a home does not mean that you're not going to be financially responsible for the past due rent and for all of the damages. Eventually, this landlord is going to get the money for this home, whether it's you willingly pay for it or they take you to court and sue, and your wages will be garnished to pay for all of the destruction in this
What
home. This is
wages?
never the way to leave a home, whether it's through eviction or you walk away from it. And no landlord deserves this. This is so wrong on so many levels, and I do feel bad for this landlord.
Well, we're moving out. This is my apartment right now, y'all. Just meant to show y'all a day in the life of True Rue. I'm gonna come back like tonight and see how much progress we made to see if we move out all the way. But it's a lot going on.
Hold on. Whose wig was that? Is that his wig? Hold on.
But it's a lot going on.
Look at that wig. Look at this wig.
But it's a lot going on.
All right, so let's address that first scene we just saw. How they egregiously damaged that property, which was absolutely malicious. There's no denying that. They literally caved in the ceilings and then it looks like burst the pipes and then had the water overflowing throughout the house and probably either left the door open or also left the AC on so that the floors literally would freeze. So they're also trying to harm people because let's be honest, you're trying to get in that house, you're going to slip and fall the way that they had things like that. And it's absolutely malicious. And this is why I really wouldn't even care to delve into the real estate as far as an investment option, because that absolutely was not a good investment in hindsight, right? And she's saying that they're going to be able to get their money back. That's a stretch. That's going to be very hard. And it's still going to cost you tons of money to even attempt to try to do it. You know, you can't garnish what's not there, y'all. But let's go ahead and get into the next clips. We got a nice little lineup today. But first, if you could like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps me out tremendously. So I know it can be easy to forget, but just wanted to remind here on the front end. So if you could like, I would greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into the next clip.
So I woke up this morning and the landlord done put an eviction notice on my door, y'all. And I only owe for this month, for the month of March. I pay $9.50 a month for rent, and so I just owe for this month. And it's due on the first of each month. So I guess it's supposed to be after 10 days, but 7 days.
She said it's due on the first of each month. Like it was a surprise when she found out. Man, we all know that rent is due on the first of each month. It sounds like you just found out that information, but everybody else knows that.
He didn't put an eviction notice up there, y'all. So I proceeded to message him about the mold that's in the house. So I'm like, first of all, your rent is on the way. I already talked to Community Action. I'm gonna apply to them in like 2 weeks, and they're gonna pay my rent.
What?
So and I got that using the resources from the CPS lady that y'all sent to my house. So my rent's gonna be paid this month by Community Action. So I then sent him a video of the mold kit that I bought, because I went to Lowe's, I bought a mold kit. It did show that we had mold in our house. So I sent him a video of the mold kit, and I was like, while you waiting on payment from Community Action for the rent, you could be working on fixing this mold issue. So he comes back and tells me, I don't let my tenants stay in the house with mold in it, and y'all gonna have to move out. Make this your last month. You can't kick nobody out the house because it's mold in the house. You can't do that. You cannot do it. He gonna have to fix that mold issue. So I messaged him. I was like, can you, because he got all kind of properties around here. And I was like, can you just put us in another house until you can get the
Oh
mold
no.
issue fixed? Like, I
Oh
got a
no.
medical need son. We don't have nowhere else to go. Don't y'all know this man left me on red? So now, until this mold issue is fixed, your rent each month is going into a money order, and I'm gonna set it to the side because you're not gonna get it until you fix on this mold issue.
Okay.
That was it. That's all. That's all I seen. Was there in the laundry room? Thank y'all. And all they did was come over here and pour bleach alongside the wall. How is that gonna fix the mold?
We got a lot to unpack with this one because, for one, she's got a house and she's paying $950 a month, so she could possibly already be getting some subsidization. But if she's not, it sounds like she's planning on applying for that. So maybe he just gave her a really good deal. But ultimately, what it comes down to, she said she didn't pay and she's late. And then she said, but she'll have it in 2 weeks because she just applied for something. This is why you can't just take what you hear on face value. Let's go back to that.
So, first of all, your rent is on the way. I already talked to Community Action. I'm going to apply to them in like 2 weeks and they're going to pay my rent.
I already talked to Community Action. I'm going to apply to them in 2 weeks and then they're going to pay my rent. That's like me not paying rent. And then I said, I got a job on the way. I'm going to apply to a job in 2 weeks and then they're going to give me a check. Ma'am, you haven't even applied. You don't know how that's going to work out. And you don't need to apply in 2 weeks. You need to apply right now so that things could be in motion in 2 weeks. But ultimately, you don't know that you're going to get accepted or anything. You're going to apply in 2 weeks and you think that that guarantees some money. People love trying to be optimistic when it's going to buy them some time to not have to pay. And they can just kind of tell you that whatever and you'll run with it. But you don't have the money to pay my rent, but you have disposable income to go buy a mold kit. That would be my problem already. You got enough money to try to get me to do some more work and to pay for something, but you don't have the money to pay my rent. Now, if it's mold, I mean, it's understandable somewhat, but you should just kind of want to leave then, in my opinion. If it's mold, I would think you just want to get out of that house, but you're going to continue to keep living in it. Because we have to understand what is truly the issue here. Is it about the mold, or is that a distraction for you to not be able to pay my rent? Because if you still live there and just don't pay rent, then clearly the mold isn't the issue. What the issue is you're just trying to get over it and you're trying to find a way to not pay me, so you're looking for something.
This is just your sign to not be like me and make sure you pay your rent on time, even if you paid it late a million times before and they've never went through with an eviction process. Please pay your rent on time, because I am living proof that they will take you to fucking court, and that $600 rent will turn into $1,734.28. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. Last month, my rent was due on the 1st. There's a grace period till the 5th. And then they send out like this 14-day notice. It's like a notice to vacate, whatever. I've lived here for almost 4 years. They've never gone past that point, and I've paid my rent on like the last day of the month. I've double paid my rent in the next month when I haven't been able to. We live paycheck to paycheck. We work our asses off, but it's rough, okay? Anyways, like we get our bills paid. I'm not asking anybody for anything. So long story short, didn't get it in on time last month, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna just go ahead and like take you to eviction court. Okay, whatever. I have a lot rent and a mortgage. My lot rent is like $585. After the late fee, it's like $629. So at this point, when I get the notice in the mail saying they're going to take me to court, I owe them the $6 whatever and $475 for court fees. And I'm like, oh, that freaking sucks, right? Because like I don't want, like, that's $475 I don't really have. Okay, but here's the kicker. They set the court date in February. Okay, so we went to court on February 6th. So technically, by the time we went to court, the rent for February was now past due. So they decided to throw that on there. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to give them like $1,100, you know, the court fees, January's rent, whatever will be done. No, they want February's rent too. Please don't be like me. Pay your rent on time.
Crazy enough, even what she's adding on there outside the court fees, ma'am, all that rent is all the rent that you actually owe and that you should have paid. See, she's been behind for so long that now getting her caught up seems like it's extraneous. It seems like it's a big amount, but really that's just what you owe. You just like to be able to pay whenever it is you choose to pay. That's what it comes down to. She likes to be able to pay on her timing is what it comes down to. Like she likes to just have this open and loose time frame of whenever she can pay. But the funny part is she wouldn't like it if her job paid her like that and they just felt like they could pay her whenever they feel like it. She would say, no, I need my money now. I got responsibilities. I got bills. For a lot of people who rent their homes, that is their paycheck. So when you decide to have them on pins and needles and just pay them the money whenever you feel like it, now you're halting whatever they need to do. So the fact that you thought you could just continue to live like that and treat somebody like that, you deserve to have to pay those court fees and then some.
Okay, so y'all know I lost my job a few weeks ago, and of course, like I wasn't able to come up with my rent money. So my landlord called me, and she was like, "Yes, Miss Lewis, I just want to touch bases with you. You did have a $300 balance left over from the previous month, and then your rent including this month, and you're at a total of like 1440 or something like that." So I'm just like, yes, ma'am, I'm aware. I'm just looking into some resources. So she's like, well, if you don't have the balance paid by Monday, my legal team is going to have to go to court and they're going to have to file. So I'm just like, explaining her the situation, and I'm just asking her, like, if she could give me a few weeks. I'm trying to find a job. And it sucks. Like, I've only been here, this is the 4th month, and we came back from New York. I stepped out on faith, and it's like, here we are already, like 90 days later, and I'm going through eviction process. So if you guys know any resources, any places that I can reach out to, let me know down below, because that's where I am. So thanks in advance. Bye. Love y'all.
Stepped out on faith. Y'all, we need to start stepping out on intentionality. We need to start stepping out on strategy, on planning, not faith. Because what it seems like, and I'm going to be honest, I think this might be a notorious beggar. Because when I'm trying to source videos, I run across a video from her a lot. And what that could indicate is that pretty much anytime anything goes wrong in her life, she runs to the internet and people have to come save the day. So that's how she's living. Because even her comment section kind of seems like they're just like, okay, y'all, TikTok is just a begging platform now at this point. Right? But yeah, you can't be We stepping out on faith. Nah, faith without work, we know what that is. So if you truly have faith in it, then do the work as well.
Oh Lord, y'all, these folks trying to put me out. They trying to put me out. Y'all, let me tell you, let's go back to the beginning. Let me tell you how I got here. Okay, y'all, so I moved to a new city, not too far from my hometown, but probably like 45, 50 minutes away. So yeah, I moved here because I was offered a job, right? But never was able to start a job because they was just playing around. So what happened was they wanted to verify one of my previous employers, right? But this company was no longer existed. So I guess they weren't able to get in contact with the people to verify my insurance. I say insurance, my employment. Now, mind y'all, I done had over 30 some jobs, no exaggeration. I have never, ever in my life had to do this. Never had to verify nothing. Never had to do none of this, right? So they was asking, they was like, do you have any old pay stubs or whatever? I'm like, yeah, I worked that job years ago. I don't have none of it. So they was like, well, you got to try to access it on the IRS, blah, blah, blah. So I tried to do it online, never could do it online. So I had to go to the IRS office. Went to the IRS office. They told me I couldn't do a walk-in. I had to schedule an appointment to come back. Mind y'all, you can walk in on a certain date, but they told me something. They're about to close in 30 minutes, so they can't help me. Okay, whatever. Schedule an appointment. So I told the recruiter, hey, blah, blah, this is what happened. They was like, okay. So I talked to the hiring manager. They was like, yeah, we got to move your hire date back. I was like, okay, cool. They moved my hire date the week before. Y'all, I was finally able to get my W-2s to show them that I worked at this place. But it was the day I was supposed to start, right? So I emailed the recruiter, tried to call him, never responded. Text the hiring manager, she never responded. So I'm like, okay, I even told him, I was like, hey, if y'all, decide to go with somebody else or what the case may be, that's fine. I mean, it's stupid because that's not my fault, but if so, just let me know. That's all. Yeah, I never heard back from these people until this day. So I done moved to this apartment in hopes of starting this new job. Can't even start the job. Behind on rent. Now I can't put.
So she stepped out on faith a little bit too, but she actually had a little bit of planning. That's an unfortunate situation. That's unfortunate. It's a lot of logistical constraints there, with the company no longer being around. Who knows what that indicates to the other hiring people. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That's definitely unfortunate. But I think she should probably be able to find something else. It seems like she's just a little slow to handle her business a little bit. Like she doesn't just make it happen and just get it done, right? So that could also signal, based on whatever it is, her field that she's trying to go into, whatever the position is, that could signal that she's possibly, a little unorganized, doesn't really handle her business. I don't think it will be that hard to find something that could verify something, right? And the fact that it's just taking so long, and they don't know if you could do it, as well as the totality of the organization that you used to work with no longer being there. I don't know what her position again was within that company, but if it was a position to where it was supposed to contribute to the success of the company, that's very rare that you see somebody come from a failing company that is no longer around. So it's kind of like they can't even count that experience for you anymore. Maybe, I don't know. It's a weird situation, weird circumstance, but hopefully she can find something else. I think she'll be okay. But she just needs to get a little more initiative. She needs to move a little quicker, have a little more urgency. But we'll leave it there for today. Y'all, if you could like the video, again, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it helps me out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers. And basically what it does is it helps smaller content creators like myself. And it pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, just like you press the like button, and then it'll show you the points. Sometimes it only shows up on mobile, and sometimes it doesn't even show up at all for some reason. But if not, you can just like. That helps a lot. And then Patreon's linked below as well if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.